basic concepts of blockchain, and there are many other use cases in
No, sir.
commerce
I
and
had been
all the
earlier. I was the
sectors
head of the
where
department. I
you can
also
think of
was the
implementing
coordinator of QIP
blockchain in the
also.
beginning.
And
And if you are
later on, I was
collaborating in any of these
industry
stages or
professor.
their information on how to proceed and
My
consultancies or
position
any other additional materials and or something, you can always write to me at anoop@rajagiri.edu.
for the
Link in
topic.
profile as well. And the organizers will be sharing the
Yeah.
slides
So
with you
Professor
in the
Rajiv,
group.
the cap,
And once
looks
again,
like it's from
thank you
Himachal
so
Pradesh, I
much
think.
for
Very
attending
nice.
this webinar.
Yeah.
And now
Good morning to
it's
everyone.
open for
So I would
questions
like to share
if
that Professor Bhargava, Namaskar.
allocated minutes
I
given.
was a student of Department of Mathematics at that time,
Before
Roorkee
5
University from
minutes.
80 to 85.
You
So I
must,
Thank you
did
so much.
you must have seen
thank
me
you.
there.
So much,
Yeah, that's
Anup sir.
I'm saying pranam
It
to
was
you. It was
really,
my
really
guru at that
amazing
time.
Thank you very much.
than
Thank you.
expected.
Thank you very much.
Because as a faculty or as a research scholar, I have attended many of the blockchain webinar. So I think this was one of the best webinar that I have ever attended because I was keenly observing and I was as an organizer and also a participant. I was keenly observing each and every minute things that has been shared through the webinar. Thank you so much, dear Anup sir, for the valuable sharing of your experience as well as the sharing of your in the importance of blockchain. So let's invite Roshan sir for the next procedure regarding the Q&A and also regarding the certificate.
Yep. Thank you, Anup sir. I think the chat box speaks for itself because we have started receiving a lot of appreciations for the webinar already. Right. The feedback will be shared shortly, but before that, we'll just go into the Q&A. We have few questions, 5 or 6 questions. So the first one was Anup sir. I think you can take it up on uh, one question at a time. So the first one is we are able to transfer. It is from Suraj Sharma. So we are able to transfer money via GPay. Is this an example of blockchain? And the second part of the question is, what are the possible chances that the security of the blockchain technology can be breached? So Anup sir, hope the question was clear.
Yeah. I have seen that question. The one question from Suraj Sharma. Sir, are we able to transfer money via GPay? Is this an example of blockchain technology? What are the possible chances that security of the blockchain technology can be breached? So, you have mentioned money transfer through the Google Pay. It is not an example of blockchain technology that they are not using blockchain technology as of now, but because there is a central party involved, right, the bank. So the GPay is an interface between the bank and the user, where the GPay will be contacting with the bank and transferring the money to the other party. So that is not a use case for the blockchain, that they are not currently using blockchain. But similarly, that I have pointed out something called a MetaMask in between my slides. That is a wallet where you will be having an application where you can store the cryptocurrencies, and you can send that using powered by send that through your mobile phones or mobile wallet and all to the other person. Then if those transactions are recorded in a decentralized ledger, then that would be a use case of a blockchain. So currently, in a summary, currently the GPay systems are not using the blockchains.
Yes. So the next question is
So
from Paulo.
is that next question from Ajit Vijayan?
1 minute, sir. It is from Paulo Vilosis. So what he asks is Bitcoin an alternative to banking system? And the second part of the question is anonymity is such a problem or disadvantage of Bitcoin?
Okay, I couldn't see that question. I mean,
Okay,
your
I just put
voice
it in the
is not
chat box. I
audible.
just uh, 1 minute, sir. I
So
just
anyway, there is
I
another
just
question.
repost.
I will be answering that question later, sir. And there is one another question. Sir, you told in Indian exchanges we cannot encash coins. So how we can an investor make use of his coins? So in the exchanges, the encashment is not possible because there are a lot of constraints. As I believe, as you
Now it's
read,
Milo. So a
read in the
very
news
good
in
afternoon to everyone.
2018, RBI, the
It is
Reserve
indeed my pleasure
Bank
to
of India,
welcome
was
you all
very
to
and
QIP short-term course
they are very
on
opposing to using the
this kind of topic.
cryptocurrencies
This is
and
not very normal.
legalizing the same.
I think this is only
Uh,
second of its kind.
but
Last
that's what I
year, in the
told.
month of
Even there are
September or
cryptocurrency
October,
exchanges that
IIT
is
Indore has
popular in India as well, where you
conducted.
can only,
IIT
as per the
Indore
current
has
regulations, you
conducted
can
one
only
QIP
transfer
course
an asset to
on
asset
Leelavati
on
mathematics.
this cryptocurrency. And
I
there
think
are some other
some
say
participant
the
is
exchanges that is not
speaking. Maybe
available
they
in
can.
India, where you
Please
I have
can
request to
muted.
mute
encash
everyone.
it. But anyway, in the
Yes,
Indian
yes, I have done
exchange,
it.
you cannot convert the
So
Bitcoin
maybe
to
next
an
time we can go for some kind of
equivalent
panelist or
to
event
Indian
so that
rupee due to
we can have full control over
the current restrictions.
noise. Yeah. So it is
Sir,
indeed my pleasure
another
to welcome
question:
the
any
chief guest, Professor Rajiv Kumar, Member
government
Secretary AACTE,
regulations
Professor
for adopt,
Gopinath,
sir, in government
Computations
regulations for
Faculty
adopting
Member
blockchain,
from
Harvard
Indian
Blockchain
Institute of
Technology for
Science,
financial
Bengaluru,
inclusion.
Dr.
So
Shaileja
government regulations
Sharma from
that depends. As I
National
said,
Institute of
the
Advanced
government is
Studies,
very
Bengaluru,
very keen
Professor Rama
to see
Bhargava,
the
Senior Professor of Department of
cryptocurrency
Mathematics, IIT Roorkee,
aspect or the
and
currency
Professor
aspect
Vimal Srivastava, our
of the
QIP
blockchains.
coordinator,
For example,
IIT Roorkee,
the
and Professor
Bitcoin
Punia, co-coordinator
transaction,
of this
the
QIP
people
course.
transferring Bitcoin to
I
Bitcoin
welcome
in a
you
currency.
all
I
to this
mean,
QIP
in a
course,
specific country, they are
and
encashing it to
we
the
all are
actual
aware
currency
of
and all.
the initiative of
So
Government of
the
India.
government is very strict on those aspects. I mean, when it comes to the currency aspect or the exchange aspects. Okay, so but as I said, that is one aspect of a thing where you can take the underlying technology as such. That is a blockchain technology as such, where that can be adapted to many domain areas, where that is direct to beneficiary transfer. For example, in the government use cases, there will be a lot of things where the farmers, for example, in the agriculture domain, the farmers needs to get an insurance, the insurance amount. There are middlemen who will be playing in between, and the actual amount the government is disbursing to the farmers are not getting affected in their accounts. Okay, there are many middle parties. They will be looting all this money and all. So in those cases, blockchain will play the role. And in the healthcare domain, the patient data needs to be kept. So currently we use the database systems where you might have heard many newses like the patient information has been compromised and that is made available to public. Okay, what if it has been made available to an insurance company? So insurance companies will be using those data and contacting these persons and all, right? So that should not happen, where we need to sensitively store this information. So those are the cases where you can forget about the current point of view. Rather, you can take the technology. You can take the technology and use that for multiple use cases. Okay, that is the answer to you. There are many other questions. I believe you can send those questions, or else let me check. Message encrypted. Read online. The review. Not a message. There are a lot of questions. Yeah, mentioned that a message encrypted cannot be written to the old form. You can how can receiver know the message? Good question. So as I said, the hashing, when you do the hashing, the message will be converted into a hashed form. But that can be that is verifiable. Okay, that is verifiable. But as I said, it is a one-way function because you cannot convert the actual hashed value to a message, which is always verifiable using techniques, but you cannot construct it back. Okay, that has solved the equal message, the private key. That this question also answer has also been solved. how blockchain influencing human resource management. Human resource management, one example that immediately comes to my mind is the background verification or the certificate verification, I believe. This question is from Shimmy Francis. So I believe, Shimi, if you are working in the human resource domain, there are many pain points where people will be spending huge amount of money, meaning the companies will be spending huge amount of money and time to for the background verifications. Okay, so think about a situation: you bring or you take the blockchain network and you form a network where the employers, the certificate issuance, the certificate issuance agencies, for example, the universities, colleges, everybody joins the network. Then if they implement or if they issue the certificate in a blockchain in a tamper proof manner, then the background verification process itself can be eliminated, right? So there are many other things as well where you can say the can be implemented in the human resource management. This is one use case that immediately came into my mind: the background verification and background check. If everybody joins in the network, if the certificates are being issued in the network, then you cannot send the certificate to a third party, or the third party verification can be eliminated. Government agencies can also be a part of this network. Okay, so so this is that hope that cleared the question. So is blockchain network trustable? If the blockchain network trustable, it is a trust-free things, or else you can say the parties in the blockchain network are not trusted each other. That's why we need to have a consensus mechanism. We need to have a mechanism to properly record the messages in a tamper-proof manner. Uh, Proper safety, meaning safety in the sense when it comes to the comes from the point of view of the privacy of the persons or the anonymity of the person. Of course, blockchain is anonymous in the sense the public blockchains, where the private blockchains, you the each and every parties should be knowing each other. Okay, so these are the questions that I can see now. Yeah. So if you have any further questions, you can send your queries, or if you need any further materials and all, you can. I will be putting my email address in the chat box. You can send the queries over there. Thank you all. It was really informative. It was really interesting to discuss, and there were some good questions as well. Thank you for joining.
Once again, thank you, Anup, for clarifying all the questions without missing out any question. You are like a teacher who was always giving out all the ideas, or who was answering all the questions peacefully. That okay, let's move on to the next procedure. So, dear participants, yeah, the feedback link is already posted in the chat box. Please use that. And I would like to welcome our Dean, Dr. Joseph sir, for the valedictory address. Over to you, sir.
Again.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You are audible now.
Audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. I'm starting once again. My special congratulations to all the participants, both from India as well as abroad. And a special word of thanks to Dr. Anup for presenting the topic beautifully and a simple way. There was a time when maybe the Asian Tigers starting from 80s, since I belong to the old generation, during the time of there was a wave from the Asian tigers. They were frightened about the movement from the brick banking to the click banking. They were totally surprised. And now the modern trend is that we need banking, but we are not wholly depending on the bank. The trend is like that. And Dr. Anup has explained very clearly the elements like the distribution, the encryption, the immutability, and everything. And the distribution ledger technology as it is made as simple as possible. So special congratulations to Dr. his efficient way of handling the session. Now, when we are moving from the peer-to-peer network banking with the tamper-proof system or the storage system with verifiable platform, everything is okay. But as a word of caution, every criminal, there's from the department or the police department or the military department, they are always saying that the criminals are always one step ahead. That we have to bear in mind. So before diving into the hashing function, you have to acquire either enough or adequate computer skill. Without that, never get into that. And ensure that your safety belt regarding the public key as well as the private key is ensured by you. Without that, never get into that. And I take this opportunity to congratulate the principal and Father Joseph MK, the head of the Department of Social Work, who is really the backbone of organizing all these things. And the words may not be sufficient to congratulate Bito, Roshan, and the organizing team for taking so much of faith for making this webinar into effective terms. So once again, congratulating Dr. Anup and the whole team for presenting the session in a beautiful way, and be cooperative with us. All the participants, whenever you are organizing the program, invite us, and we may be inviting you for the other sessions also. Be cooperative. So thank you once again, and thank the management for every support. Thank the non-teaching staff for the whole support, especially the lab and all that. So I congratulate one and all. Wish you all the best. Have a nice time. Thank you.
Thank you, Thambisa, for the inspiration and motivational speak. And I want to share the next webinar on the filter bubbles and echo chambers. So we are officially launching the next webinar, which is going to happen on 30th Jan 2020. So this will be an important topic, which is a continuation related to algorithms. So we'll be sending the invitation link shortly to you, to your registered mail ID. So I would like to propose a vote of thanks on this pleasant occasion. All the good things comes to an end, but the memories live on forever. First of all, I would like to thank God Almighty for showering all the blessings for making this program a grand success. And I would also like to thank our director, Father Jos Kurietath, for all the moral support. I would like to thank our associate director, Father Saju MD, who was really keen in participating the webinar and also giving the for making this program a grand. I'd like to thank our respected principal, Dr. Binoy sir, for the encouraging words, for making this program a leading success. I would like to thank our mentor and also the major contributor, our social work department, for the constant support and for the constant support throughout the program. And I would also like to thank our Dean, Dr. K. kind support, and who was endlessly asking about the continuous process person, Dr. Anu B.S. once again for making this program a grand success. And also I would like to thank our faculty members of Department of Commerce and Professional Studies of Rajagiri College of Social Sciences for all the corrections and also for the moral support. Last but not the least, I would like to thank all dear participants for the kind support and also for the active participation from the different parts of the world, especially from Philippines, Nigeria, Korea, Kuwait, Istanbul. All we have got an n number of participation. So thank you all dear participants once again for participating very actively and keenly. Thank you once again. So so let's wind up over here and kindly ensure that you have filled up the feedback form. And if you want to share, if you want to share any feedback, you can unmute yourself and over to you. Any participants, if you want to share your experience or if you want to make some additions to that, you can unmute yourself and you can share your experience, and we will be making an additional better advanced version of blockchain soon. So if you want to share anything, you can over to you. Any feedback? Thank you.
So participants, so I'll be posting the feedback link again. So suppose you have not been able to fill in the feedback form, I'll be posting. You may not be able to fill it in at the first go because there are a lot of participants who are doing it simultaneously. So you may have to try 1 or 2 times. So I'm posting it again.
ICT, eminent resource persons, Professor Gopinath and Dr. Chelja, Professor Vibel Chand, UIP coordinator, the leader of the today's course, Professor Anil, and Professor Punia, and dear participants. A very good afternoon to you all. First of all, I would like to congratulate Professor Anil for organizing such a course on the topic of the current scenario, which is really a hot topic due to the pandemic, and the reason being that nowadays thus due to the sudden rollover of all the activities online, particularly the teaching, the technological activities and all that. Therefore, the computational thinking has become on the forefront. The myth of the users of the computational thinking that is based on the computer science is not correct. It can be developed and implemented even without a device. Even in ancient India, the concept and the philosophy of the computational thinking were existing, but there was no device at all at that time. I do believe that the topic of the various topics discussed in this course on the computational thinking will definitely be giving what which is not known or which is known very less to the participants, and thus will open a new field to think of and to work on. I myself being associated with QIP as coordinator for 3 years, and I feel that the QIP platform is very, very important and powerful in disseminating the knowledge to all corners of the country, because the participants are basically from every place. I'm sure that the next 5 days will be very useful in, as Dr. Shelja told, in finding out what is the knowledge and how we can use that knowledge to apply in our coursework, in our school, in our day-to-day life, and beyond that. So I'm very positive that I will also, because I'm also an initiator in this field, I will also be able to learn many things from the expert resource persons, the Gopinath and Dr. Shelja, though I'm a person of mathematics. So, but still I believe that I'm a student of mathematics. And I wish all the best to all the participants, because this topic, as Dr. Anil has told in the morning in the beginning, that on this topic, very few, you can say, courses or workshops have been held so far. So for the participants also, the deliberations will be very new, very interesting. So let us wish all the best to the participants and thank to the AICT member secretary for giving the opportunity to speak, to deliberate on this topic, which is basically a topic of the day. This topic has become all the more important due to the pandemic. Persons are now, even a child of 4 or 5 years has started working on the computers. And when he has started working on the computers, he wants to know what is computational thinking. My even granddaughter, she is 5-6 years in US. She knows how to make, how to use computer, how to work on thinking. She just thinks everything step by step, and that is a part of the computational thinking. So I'm sure that this course is going to give us a lot many information, which we will able to disseminate further to those who are not able to attend this course. So I have come to know from Dr. Anil that 122 participants have applied for this course. It is really a very great thing. Really, I mean, perhaps maybe the first time in the QIP history that so many participants have applied for this. I wish all the best. And first of all, the great thanks to the experts, Professor Gopinath and Dr. Shelja, that they have given, and Dr. Anil, who has given me an opportunity to share something about the computational thinking from past to present. Thank you very much and wish all the best to everyone.
Thank you very much, Professor Bhargava. Now, it is indeed my pleasure to request our chief guest, Professor Rajiv Kumar, Member Secretary, AICTE, to deliver his address on this occasion. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Anil. Respected Professor Rama Bhargava, Professor Gopinath, Professor Shelja Sharma, Professor Vimal Srivastava, Dr. Anil Kumar, course coordinator, and Dr. Punia, co-coordinator of this course. First of all, thank you very much for inviting me to be a part of this. I think this is a historic course. You rightly said the first course was organized of similar nature at IIT Indore. I also attended some of the session of that course. And I am privileged also to be a part of that second program. And definitely the name and nomenclature of the course is very, very interesting. I got a call 3 or 4 days back from Professor Anil Kumar that we are organizing a course of this nature at IIT Roorkee, and we want that you should attend. And I said it is my privilege that I will be a part of that course. So thank you very much for inviting me and giving me this opportunity to be a part of this program. Now, as you know that lot of things are going on at the government level also and at AICTE also. As far as Indian knowledge is concerned, we at the initiative of the Ministry of Education have started a Indian knowledge cell, complete Indian knowledge cell. There is lot of Indian knowledge here and there. We always talk in in different platforms, but there is no proper documentation. I know Professor Gopinath and Professor Shelja, they are doing a lot of work in this direction, but more efforts are needed, and we need institutionalization of such type of efforts. So we have created, Professor Gopinath and Professor Shelja must be knowing that we have started a complete Indian knowledge system cell at AICTE, and the main task of that force is to coordinate the work being done at the various part of the country in this direction, whether it is the Vedic mathematics or it is the medicine system, or whether it is the environment. You take any Indian traditional knowledge system that is part of that knowledge system cell, Indian knowledge system cell at AICTE. So this cell has started functioning. We have done so many appointments, and the people, those have been appointed, they are the experts, basically those who have interest in that area. We are not looking the person having this qualification or that qualification. Those who have the passion to work in that areas, they have been selected and they are working out of passion. We are not compensating them as per their work they are doing there, but out of passion, these people, these experts, they are working at AICTE Indian Knowledge System Cell. Now my appeal, those, because in this program, in this faculty development programs, many attendees, resource persons, they must be having interest so in this area. So I request them, please see our website at Indian Knowledge System website of AICTE, and write if you have some suggestions, if you have some information to share. We have researchers there, they will definitely, and you try to connect with that cell of AICTE and give your input so that some concrete can come out in the form of the documentation, in the form of research. So whatever we have in the Indian traditional knowledge system, that has not been documented properly. So a lot of things need to be done in that direction. A lot of research can be initiated in these areas also. I know IIT Roorkee because I think 40 years back when I was in 80s, I was there. I was doing my MSc and MPhil in mathematics. So still at that time, a course on Vedic mathematics. That was not a credit course at that time, but I remember 40 years back, in the evening hours, that course was being taught by some passionate teachers at that time. But we could not, anyhow, we could not take that type of passion forward, either no proper support from the government side or from the institutional side. So these all things, that passion that we could not carry. But this is the time, and we all are together, we all are working, and we all have a instinct to take this work forward. So definitely some positive outcome will come. Now also when we talk about the QIP, and one more thing, if you have some idea and you need that some research can be done in traditional knowledge system, and you need some support from AICTE, so we are willing, we are happy. I request the researchers, those who are interested to work in any of the form of the Indian traditional knowledge system, please submit the proposal. We will definitely, we will evaluate, and the proposals will be evaluated by persons like you only, and we will definitely support from this program. I assure you that all good proposals, those who will have good ranking, and those who will be vetted by the experts like you, will be supported by AICTE financially also. And also some more programs from the QIP, not from the IIT Roorkee, from any other centers out of the allotted quota. If you have some, if you feel that more programs can be arranged, we will definitely fund these programs also out of the allotted quota also. So these are the things, these are the initiatives taken by the AICTE. One thing, our Dr. Srivastava shared that we have permitted in QIP those who are students, researchers, those who are coming to IITs or pursuing PhD in QIP scheme, we have allowed that they can visit abroad also for semester. We are funding them, and we are also coming out for a scheme that is only for the that is QIP foreign. That means we will send the researchers if they are selected in the best universities. Say best universities means 500 or 600 ranked universities, and if they have some collaboration with some of the Indian institutes, so then we will send these students for the foreign research for certain time. So these type of schemes we are coming out for promoting research, and we have many more schemes, around 40 schemes we have to support students, faculty, and the institutions in terms of money. And we also have the awards for the teachers, like you were mentioning the Leelavati Award. Recently, we have announced one Leelavati Award. Those who are working for the upliftment of the women cause in the institution as an individual. So we have invited these entries for that award, and that entries they are going to close on 31st of January. So these entries are, they are still open. So a lot of things are being done from the AICT level, from the AICT sides. So if you have some proposal, if you think that this can be improved, because not only we are framing the scheme, we are taking the feedback and the suggestions from the experts and from the stakeholders while framing the scheme. And if you have some suggestions that by doing that this scheme can be improved, so please write to us. We will definitely reply to your mail. We will definitely take the cognizance and we will discuss that, and accordingly we will take a decision and modify the scheme. So with all these words, once again, I thanks all the participants that they are the part of this historic, they got the opportunity for this historic program. I think this is the first of this kind. And because the Indore one happens a little bit different, but essence was same. So all you, the participants, you are fortunate, you are lucky one that you are have been selected by IIT Roorkee QIP Center for this first program. And I hope also in time to come, IIT Roorkee QIP Center and many more resource persons at their institute also will organize such type of programs, and we will fund them. Even they are not part of any scheme, we will, even then we are going to fund all these programs. With all these words, once again I thank Professor Anil Kumar, Professor Punia, Professor Srivastava, Professor Gopinath, and my guru Rama Bhargava ma'am and Professor Shalja for supporting this program, this initiative of IIT Roorkee and AICT. With all these words, namaskar, thank you, Jai Bharat.
Thank you very much, Professor Rajiv Kumar, for your kind words. And again, thank you for readily accepting my invitation to be here as a chief guest. And the kind of encouragement AICT is showing through QAP courses and giving chances for new knowledge systems to go into the society through teachers and students is something very commendable. Because once teachers are aware of these things, they can easily pass on to the students by various means. So I hope through this course that will happen. It will pass on to the next generation, and hopefully we will organize some separate workshops for the students also from these colleges where from the teachers are here. Now I request Professor Vishnu Singh Punia, faculty member from Department of Electronics and Communication Engineering and co-coordinator of this course, to deliver vote of thanks.
I sincerely thank Professor Rajiv Kumar, Member Secretary AICT, for being part of inauguration of this course and for gracing the occasion as a chief guest and addressing all of us, and also letting us various channels through AICT how Indian knowledge systems can be, the research and teaching in Indian knowledge systems can be pursued. I also thank Professor Gopinath, Professor Shalja Sharma, Professor Rama Bhargava for agreeing to be instructors of this course. It will be an honor to attend your sessions. I also thank Professor Vimal Srivastava for facilitating this course at IIT Roorkee, at QIP Center at IIT Roorkee. And my best wishes to all the participants, and hope all of us will learn a lot of new things from all the instructors during the course of this, during next 4 days. And thank you all.
One thing I would like to share, Professor Anil Kumar, please,
yes, please
identify some of the most interesting lectures out of this course. Sure. And you please share the recording of these lectures. Sure. We will put all these lectures on our Indian Knowledge System website. So that will become a resource for us. So everybody can see and just take the benefit of it. So this is my request to you, Professor Anil Kumar.
No, certainly we will explore the same by taking the consent from the instructors. But very nice idea. Thank you so much. We will certainly consider that. Thank you. Okay, so I once again thank all the dignitaries in this and very soon we will start the lectures. Yeah, so participants, please be there. We'll start the lecture very soon.
Thank you very much. Nice.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. Okay.
Anil, is the recording going on right now? Is the recording?
Yeah, another session I have recorded.
Okay.
Now recording the lecture, in the suggestion I can continue recording or I can switch off.
No, I think we're quite fine with recording. Shailaja, do you have any? I'm quite fine with the recording. I think.
Yeah,
Shailaja,
no, that's okay. No, that's okay.
yeah. Okay. No problem. Please proceed with the recording.
Great. And we have a few instructions for the participants. I think because it is a first session, we will have an idea about the audio quality of the session. Accordingly, if there is any update in the platform, you will be notified by the email. Please keep checking your emails regularly. But as of now, we will continue with this. And please post your queries in the chat box. And whenever course instructor agrees, then we will address those queries. I think with this, if you have any, I mean, before we start, if you have anything to share with the organizers, we have a couple of minutes. After that, we will start the lecture. Participants, if you want to ask anything, you can unmute yourself and ask the question. Okay.
Okay.
So if there are no more queries, we can.
Okay.
Yeah, please, Professor Gopi.
Yeah, I think just to make sure that the course goes on smoothly, if there are any disconnections, etc., I think because there are two instructors, actually three, right? So we will figure out a way in which we can step in case some disconnection happens. Okay? And also, if any questions are there, please send it by the chat. I think there is no way in which you can show your hand, right? Only by chat, I think it's possible in this particular.
Yeah,
software.
actually, there is a raise hands option is there. That also people can use, and also they can type in the chat box. Both options are available.
Okay. I think the plan is that the other instructors, because there are three of us, the other two instructors will monitor the chat and intervene so that if there are any issues, we can
Yes.
questions or issues we can solve.
I think chat box is a good option. Yeah. Thank you.
Sharvila, do you want to say anything on this? Or Mr. Rama, do you want to say anything?
Chat box is good.
Yeah. So now I request our opener to start by giving an overview of start today's lecture.
Okay. Shall I share the screen now?
Yes, please.
Yeah. Is this visible?
Correct.
Hello? Is it
Visible.
Okay. So, yeah. I'm just presenting the schedule right now first. You can notice that we have made a small change. So basically in the beginning, we'll talk a bit about the high-level perspective. It's called Dhruv Ganitaikya in Indian thinking. It's also been called as computational positivism by Professor Uddam Narasimha. Okay? So we'll talk a bit about that. And then we had two combinatorics, we actually combining into one. So there's a small change in the way we are going to organize this course. Basically because we felt that the beginning we thought that lecture one will have this component, this complete aspect of it. But I think because of the introductory portion that we just witnessed, we decided to do it as a separate lecture. This is schedule. So I think that basically you can see that there are quite a few topics here, and we will make a introductory remarks on some of these aspects and take one aspect of it in some detail. The subject is quite vast, and basically our ancestors have been, let's say, very prolific in their thinking and their writings. So it's not going to be easy to summarize everything very quickly. But I think we'll make an attempt at making sure that some of the high-level aspects are clear. Okay? There is a lot more to be understood, there's a lot more to be researched, and there's a lot more to be discovered also. Basically because it turns out the number of manuscripts in India is staggering. It's almost close to, people will say it's anywhere from 10 million to 30 million. And it's one of the highest anywhere in the world. For example, the Greek and Latin, it's supposed to be only 500,000. Okay? Whereas the Indian, Sanskrit and other languages, if they put together, till 1500, it's almost close to 30 million or more. Okay? So, and only about a small fraction, people say it's only 5%, has been actually just catalogued. We don't even know what is there in the rest of them. So what we are going to do is to use this in an evidence-based way to talk about what we understand about what has been done so far. And that is the intent of this course. You can see the kind of topics that we have listed out here. First is going to be a high-level philosophical discussion on computational positive